Hi, friend. I just wanted to take a minute to invite you to our Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026. This is a one-day, all online event happening on May 2nd, and our theme for the year is going all in. We are shaking things up and doing it differently than anyone ever has before. This is going to be an all online event as usual, but it's going to be 100% a curated journey throughout your day as we guide you through the mindset, strategy, and passion needed to go all in on your business to make it your best year in business yet. All lash artists, estheticians, and beauty professionals are invited to join us. There will be guided sessions, interactive workshops, a panel discussion, and big giveaways happening throughout that whole day. And tickets are on sale now for only $199. Payment plans are available. Let's go all in on our businesses for 2026 together. All the details and the link for tickets are down in the show notes below. I would love to have you join us online in May. Welcome to Lash Biz Babes, the podcast for solo beauty business owners who want to build a full clientele and create a business and life that they truly love. My name is Erica. I'm your host. I'm a lash artist turned beauty business coach, lash educator, and social media manager for salons and beauty businesses. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Lash Biz Babes. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your 2025 so far. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, go ahead and pause this, go listen to that one first, because it talks about basically turning your yearly goals into calendar tasks to help you plan out your days, your weeks, your months, your quarters, your whole year long to be able to hit the goals that you have set for yourself. And you can do that with your business goals and with your personal goals as well. But because being able to hit those goals means you have to break that down into smaller tasks and smaller milestones to be able to reach those things that you have set for yourself. And we are sticking with the New Year theme in this week's episode. So that's why I say make sure to listen to that one first, because I feel like it just kind of sets the tone for what goals do you have this year and how are we going to make that happen, right? I love the energy of January. I love the new beginnings, the hope, the excitement. You're so fired up towards your goals, and it gives you just this breath of fresh air behind things in a sense. I don't know. I just love the energy of January. And so I do a lot of reflection in this time of year, set new intentions, set new goals. But I wanted to talk about something different that I did for myself this year that I'm going to challenge you to do as well and see how it changes the tone of your year and how it helps you day to day, because it's something that's already helping me stick to what I said I was going to do and what I said that I wanted. One thing that I believe is that business growth and self-development, self-growth go hand in hand. The more you grow as a person, the more your business is going to grow. The more your business grows, the more you grow as a person. It's simultaneous, it works hand in hand. If you want to hit those big goals that you have set for yourself this year, whether those are business goals or even personal goals, that's going to come with you growing as a person. Now, for me, I'm pretty sure I've got ADHD. It can be kind of overwhelming to, oh, I don't know, I feel overwhelmed with making changes, especially multiple at once. And so what it comes down to is okay, I've got to do the house, I've got to take care of kids, I've got to do all these things, I've got this huge to-do list that I need to get done, and I get super overwhelmed, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to scroll, which is the worst thing, right? The whole doom scrolling thing, especially when you're overwhelmed and you're just kind of dissociating and trying to escape of that. That's never a good plan. Basically, the gist of this episode is to give you a challenge in the self-development arena, the self-growth arena, to help you be able to grow as a person so that you can continue to grow and hit your personal goals and your business goals this year. So what this is I basically sat down one night and it was late, and I just pulled out the notes app on my phone and I said, what are the standards that I want to live by this year, right? So I don't want to give myself a ton of rules or you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to stick to this set schedule. But if I have certain sets of standards that I live by, then that's going to change the way that I act and behave, right? Because if you have these big goals that you want to achieve, it's going to take new thoughts, it's going to take new habits, it's going to take new routines to be able to get you there. What helps me be able to develop those habits and those thoughts and those routines easier is knowing that I live by this standard. And so this habit that I have is down here. And I need like this is where my standards at. So I need this habit to rise up and I need to change that, right? And so I know the person that I want to be lives by these standards up here. And here's where I'm at. So, how can I rise up to the standard and be the kind of person that I want to be? How can I be this version of myself that I want to be, right? Because we don't just magically become this next level version of ourselves. That comes with changing your habits, that comes with changing your thoughts, that comes with changing your actions. And for me, what's helped me is starting with what's the standards that I want to live by. This has been a lot of like therapy that's helped me get to this point of realizing like the standards that I do want to live by and how I do want to be treated and how I treat others, how I behave inside of my business and inside of my life, and just the kind of person that I want to be. And, therapy's been something that's been really beneficial for me in the last couple of years. It's helped me kind of develop this idea and these standards of how do I want to live and how, like I said, how I want to be treated, how I want to treat others. And so I'm really being intentional with setting those standards for myself this year to make sure that I'm staying in my own lane. I'm living the way that I want to be. I'm becoming this next level version of myself. So I truly believe that having standards that you're choosing to live by for the year and being intentional with setting those is a way that you're going to be able to help yourself rise up to the version of yourself that you want to be by the end of 2025, by December 31st, 2025. So I wanted to share with you just some of the different standards to live by for 2025 that I've decided for. First one, if it doesn't add to my peace, it's a no. And that includes my family's peace as well. And so this is my standard that I live by, and that can be applied to so many different situations, whether it's in business or in my personal life, the relationships that I have around me, or even the decisions that I make, maybe an activity I'm going to do or not going to do. I want to feel peaceful this year. That's a standard that I'm going to live by. Everything around me, the decisions that I'm making have to contribute peace to my life. Otherwise, it's a no. And that's a standard I'm going to hold and apply to multiple different situations. So that's basically going to be a guideline for me. This is what these standards are, guidelines to live by, right? So the next one, take 10 when you're upset. I know if you're a parent, you feel me on this. It is very easy to get overstimulated, get super frustrated. I know that I can be easily frustrated sometimes, especially if I'm trying to get work things done and I've got kid things going and kids are fighting, the TV's on, I need to make dinner, my husband's calling. I can be like way overstimulated. So, a standard that I'm going to live by this year is to take 10 when you're upset, take 10 when you're overstimulated. Take 10 when you need a minute, okay? And so that's something I'm gonna apply in multiple different situations in my life this year because, again, I want my life to feel peaceful and fulfilled, content, joyful, and just like smooth flowing. I don't necessarily want to be like on this like way ups, way super ups, way super lows. I want to kind of stay a little more steady this year. So that's one of my standards and guidelines that I'm going to live by is I'm going to take a minute when I need to, if I'm upset or I'm overstimulated or I'm feeling overwhelmed, so that I can make sure that I'm careful with what I'm saying to those around me and how I'm making them feel. The next one, I don't know if this one's necessarily a standard, but it's something that I want to do that I know will contribute to who I want to be by the end of the year, and that's to meditate any chance that I get this year. Like I just said, I tend to get overstimulated and overwhelmed very easily sometimes. Meditation is something that helps me just like calm my brain for a minute. It sounds like one of those woo-woo things, but my brain is just constantly going 100 miles an hour at all times. Like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Even when I'm trying to go to sleep, I have to like intentionally tell myself to stop thinking so that you can go to sleep. Meditating is something that helps me have some peace, have some calm in my life, and to just be able to focus and have clarity of mind. So meditating this year is something that is a standard that I want to live by. That's the kind of person that I want to be, is someone who meditates frequently. The next one is to give myself grace, and you should give yourself some grace this year too. I do hold myself to a higher standard on a lot of things. I feel like I'm very success driven, I'm very motivated, I'm very driven, but at the end of the day, I don't get everything done that I need to all the time. My house isn't always clean. My to-do list isn't always checked off by the end of the night. I fall short in different ways. And I can be somewhat hard on myself on that sometimes, especially if you've listened to past episodes where I talk about how I've been very self-critical over the years, and that's still something that I struggle with, not to the same extent or degree as before, but it still is definitely a downfall for me, a weakness of mine. And so I want to give myself more grace. I was just thinking this morning that, oh my gosh, I wish when we moved, I would have been more organized and organized the boxes better and kind of thrown more things away. And I wish I would have done this. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, man, that version of me when we moved, she was like 6 weeks postpartum, like 8 weeks postpartum. And my husband was out of state and I was running my business, taking care of a newborn and two toddlers, and packing up and moving a house by myself. So, like, no, I'm even gonna give that past version of myself some grace this morning because she did the best that she could and she still did a damn good job. Maybe it wasn't 100% perfect or ideal or what this version of me would have done, but I can still give myself grace for that. I can give my past self grace for that. I can give my current self grace for things that I fall short on daily at now because I know I want to be at this standard of, this is who I want to be, this new version of myself, the best version of myself, right? Or the most ideal in my head version of myself. But I fall short of that every day. So I'm going to give myself some grace that that's okay because beating yourself up about things like that does not help and it doesn't contribute to get you to where you want to be, okay? You have to let yourself know that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall short. Sometimes it's okay that the to-do list doesn't always get done, but you got to give yourself some grace and some love and know that, all right, I'm going to get up and try again. That's what I tell my kids all the time. Accidents happen, mistakes happen, but what matters is that you get up and you try again. Because if you give up, that's when the real failure happens. So, giving myself grace every day. And that kind of ties into this baby steps every day. It's not always going to be these huge jumps, these huge leaps that get you there. So, my standard and my way of thinking this year is just going to be baby steps. I beat myself up. Oh my gosh, I wanted to get this huge thing done this week. Oh, I'll give you an example. My room, we've been working on, like, I set up my office desk for the first time in 2 years yesterday. And before I set it up, there was all kinds of like boxes that had been in storage for 2 years because we recently moved into our house a few months back and just not all the way set up. And I don't know, you know how that goes. And so I had all my office boxes and it's like this huge project. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get it done today. But there was so much to do and I had to take kids to activities and stop and help kids and do all these things. And so last night it was like, man, I'm kind of disappointed because I didn't get the whole thing done. It's not all the way set up and it's not, it's not what I want it to be yet, but hey, it's progress, right? And so my husband told me, "Hey, you did a great job, thanks for doing that and thanks for putting in effort towards it and like working on it and I that's a good reminder for myself like, okay, maybe I didn't fully get it done, but it's baby steps and it's one step closer and now I'm going to be able to work on it a little bit more every day and get it to the point where I want to be. Whereas if I just try and do everything at once and I get overwhelmed with it or I don't get it done and then I beat myself up about it and then I don't do it again, it's never going to get done." That's like a little stupid example, but that gives you like, an example to base it off of like, okay, baby steps. It's okay if you don't reach your goal overnight. It's okay if you don't reach it in one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years. Baby steps every single day. That's a standard I'm going to live by. Baby steps every day. The next one, going to sleep early, waking up early. This is the like a part of who I want to be because I know that I function better that way. So think about that. How do you function better? What are your like correlations with things? When you have a hard day, you're overwhelmed, you're struggling to get things done, you're finding yourself doom scrolling more, whatever it is, like or you're overstimulated, you're snapping at your kids, you're, not in a good mood, like what do you think is contributing to that? Because I kind of looked at that and I was like, okay, what are these correlations here? For me, it was like, okay, the days that I spend scrolling more online, scrolling TikTok, scrolling Instagram, scrolling Facebook, whatever it was, okay, those are days when I struggle more. I'm more snappy to those around me. I'm not being the kind of person I want to be, and it doesn't feel good. Another thing I notice is that the nights that I stay up super late and I don't get very much sleep at night, I struggle much more the next day. And then I also realized that if I don't get up before my kids and if I don't like get going and get things done and kind of just get my day going on my own note, my quiet note before all the chaos of the day begins, then I struggle more that day. So I know that I need like these are correlations that are causing like cause and effect, right? So I'm noticing these things within myself, and you can do this too. What are the correlations? What's maybe contributing to that? What's maybe triggering that? And what is that best version of yourself need to do to be able to have a good day, to feel good, to feel peace? So you've kind of got to think about, what's my standard of living? How do I want to feel? And what's going to help me contribute to that? And so this is something for me, go to sleep early, wake up early. That has been life changing for me over the last couple of months, is just simply going to bed on time and not staying up late. I know it's like the alone time for the day, whatever, but I enjoy that alone time so much more early in the morning, even though it's hard to wake up. But once I get up and I get going, I'm able to get things done. I start my day off on a good note, and it makes my day so much smoother and so much better. And I can't wake up early and do that if I'm staying up late and it doesn't work out well for me. So maybe that's not the same for you, but that's the standard that I want to live by. And I want you to figure out what's a standard that you need to live by to make that work for you. So the next thing for me is only add people and things to your life that are uplifting. This kind of goes back into like the way that you want to feel. What's the standard of emotions that you want to feel? And for me, that's a standard I want to live by. That's something that I want to improve this year. And so only adding people and things to my life that are uplifting. I talked a bit about just like toxic relationships and things and having to cut those free in the last couple of months. And that's been very freeing. And it's made me realize that like those people and situations did not make me feel uplifted or feel good. I was dumping so much energy and time into worrying and dealing with these people in these situations, and it wasn't like that's not the standard of how I want to live. And what you're going to find is that when you are intentionally setting the standards that you want to live by, you're even on a subconscious level going to upgrade the people who are around you along with that, because you're not going to want to be around people who are not living up to the same standards as you. And that doesn't mean that the people around you have to live exactly the same way that you do or make the same decisions or actions or have the same exact thoughts as you. But for me, like when there's people in my life who weren't intentionally bringing others down, and this wasn't even people I had any choice in being in my life. It was family, unfortunately, and family that was not avoidable, unfortunately. Even with that, it was like these people were intentionally bringing others down, intentionally being hurtful. It's like that's not the standard that I want to live by. And I don't want to be treated like that. And so I'm setting the standard of how I want to be treated in relationships, in friendships, in my family relationships. And so I'm not going to deal with that anymore. And I'm going to raise up to a higher standard of living. And that's okay. I'm allowed to do that. I'm only going to add people and things to my life that are uplifting this year. I don't want to deal with situations or people like that anymore if they're intentionally hurtful or like putting me down purposely or making me feel degraded in any way like that. I'm not dealing with that. That's another standard I'm living by this year. And that kind of ties into the next one. I like making decisions that make you feel good. We've already talked about this a bit, and I think you know probably how I feel about this. Like I want to feel good with things. I want to feel peace and content and at peace with the decisions that I make. I want to feel uplifted by it. If a decision isn't going to make me feel that way, I'm not going to make it. So that's the standard I'm going to live by. That's something I'm going to apply to many different situations and decisions that I'll make this year. Another standard that I'm going to live by is I'm staying focused on me. Literally on my notes app, it says, stay focused on you, baby girl. I'm going to stay in my own lane. I'm not going to worry about what other people are doing around me. I noticed in the last few years that that's not something that contributes to my success. I don't work at the same standard when I'm worrying about everyone else or comparing myself. And so I'm staying focused on me. I'm not going to worry about what other people are doing. If I find myself comparing myself to someone else online, I'm going to turn off my phone. I'm going to exit out of the app. I'm going to mute them if I have to. Do whatever I need to do to make sure that I'm staying in my own lane and I'm staying focused on my goals and what I'm working towards. You can clap for other people and be excited for them while also being focused on yourself and making sure that you are doing what you need to do to make your goals a reality and become your best self. The next thing, and this is something I've talked about, the self-criticism struggles that I've had even on this episode. This kind of ties into that I really want to, and I don't want this to be a toxic positivity kind of thing, but like I want to redirect my thoughts to something more positive. I've realized that that's something that helps me to have positivity and gratitude in my daily life. And like if I'm finding myself speaking negatively to myself about myself, or even about someone else, like maybe I had a thought pop up that wasn't very kind, or we've all had that happen, or just thinking negatively about a situation, or kind of throwing a pity party about something that doesn't help me, that doesn't make me feel good. And it's not the standard that I want to live by. I want to live by the standard of where I'm redirecting those thoughts to something more positive, to something more filled with gratitude. I am going to change my thoughts into a positive affirmation instead. So I'll give you an example of this. Like last year, when it was like a year ago, last December, when I was like really struggling because our house wasn't done. They hadn't worked on it in several months and they still weren't going to be getting started on it again. And I was really being negative about it and feeling like, well, we're never going to get into our house. This is never going to happen. This is so sucky. Why does this always happen to us? Like all these negative things. And there was one day where I decided that I'm going to turn these thoughts around because, like, throwing this pity party isn't helping and it doesn't feel good. And it's not contributing to being the kind of person that I want to be because I don't want to be this negative Nancy person all the time. And so, that's kind of deciding who's the person that you want to be and how are you aligning your actions to be them, right? And so, in that situation, I was able to kind of turn that around of like, okay, maybe our house isn't being built yet, but the neighbor's house is starting to get built. And I bet they're really excited about that. And I'm really excited for them that they're going to get to spend the holidays in their house. And like just trying to find, even if it's not ideal, just find something positive about it to reflect on, turning that into a positive affirmation at some point. Cause then I was like, well, I'm still really excited that we're going to get to spend the holidays in our house next year. And like, trying to find some type of silver lining in it while acknowledging that it sucks and it hurt and it wasn't ideal and it was hard, and like feeling those feelings too, not just like stuffing them away, but still finding something in it to be grateful for, to be positive about. And, maybe your process with that looks different than mine, but that's a standard I want to live by, that I want to try and redirect some more positivity and gratitude into my daily life. The next thing is believing in yourself always. That's a standard that I truly, truly, truly want to cement into my life this year. I feel like that's one of the things that has contributed to getting me to where I'm at now, and that's continuing to get me to where I want to be, is just continually believing in myself. Like you have to be your biggest cheerleader. So that's a standard I want to live by this year. And then another standard I wanna live by this year is getting my deadlines done first in the mornings. I always try and, like, work ahead, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have all these clients done, I've got all these things done for the next week, but I still have these, like, 10 deadlines I need to get done today, and it's not done yet." And then I'm, like, overwhelmed and stressed the rest of the day trying to get deadlines done with all the chaos of a normal day around here with kids. I realized, okay, I need to change this up and do my deadlines first in the mornings, and then I can work ahead on other things and, complete other tasks. And that's been a big helpful thing for me to help me become the person that I want to be. It's brought me more peace and joy and less overwhelm in my day to day life. So that's a standard that I'm adopting and living by, is getting my deadlines done first in the mornings. The last one, I don't know, it kind of feels silly to say out loud, but like I want to live by the standard of like romanticizing my life more. I want to be able to do things for me and not necessarily because someone else wants me to do it. Like I truly want to be more authentic and live authentically. And I think this kind of goes into just like, I don't know, like when I'm making dinner, and the kids are laughing and like we're having a good time, or like, oh, I'll give you an example. Christmas morning, I'm like in the kitchen making like a breakfast casserole and the kids are playing with their toys and there's Christmas music going, and just like that can be something where I was exhausted. We'd been up all night, building toys and being Santa and doing all the things. It was a crazy morning. We had so much fun, but it was just like this little moment of just like, this feels good. And like, this is like one of those things that I'm gonna miss, like the chaos of a Christmas morning, right? And that could even just be like a random Tuesday night where I'm making dinner and I'm taking my daughter to dance. And like, this is the life that I've always wanted to live. And I'm going to be grateful for it in the moment and romanticize that in a way of just like, I'm living the life that I want to and being present and enjoying the moment while I can, even if it's a little chaotic sometimes and maybe not even ideal sometimes. So, yeah, that's the standard I want to live by this year. And so basically, I think my challenge for you is I want you to think about, who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What's the version of yourself that you want to be by the end of 2025? And what are the standards and guidelines that you're going to live by this year to make that a reality? And I want you to write these things down and think about it, focus on it, think about those every day. And I'll probably add to this list as the year goes on. And as I think of other things, or I have changes that I want to make, or, new standards that I want to live by, and just try and be as authentic as I can to myself. So that's my challenge for you. I want you to write that out and see what that changes for you in your day to day or your week to week, your month to month, to help you rise up to be the person that you want to be in 2025. So I would love for you to shoot me over a message on Instagram. Let me know one of the standards that you're going to be living by this year. My Instagram, if we aren't already following each other there, is at XO Erica Shram, or you can follow the show at LashBizBabes on Instagram. But yeah, shoot me over a message. Let me know one of the standards that you're going to be living by this year. I think it's kind of fun to hear other people's, because we're all different and individual, and you don't have to want to live the same way that I do. This is how I want to live. These are things that I think are good things. But you might be totally different than that, or you might have something different, or different goals, or different ways of living. And that's amazing and that's great. And that's what makes you unique and special and authentic to you. So think about this in your own perspective, in your own ways. What kind of person do you want to be this year? And how do you have to, like, how do you need to live? What are the standards you need to live by to make that a reality? Because this self growth and this aspiring to rise up to this new standard of living for yourself, or this different standard of living for yourself, changing your thoughts, changing your actions, changing your habits, is going to not just help you be and feel like the best person, the best version of yourself this year, that's also continually evolving, never going to be 100% perfect or ideal, right? Don't beat yourself up, give yourself grace. But you can be this best version of yourself, but you can also grow as a person and grow your business and reach your goals, because when you're striving to be the best version of yourself that you can be, your business is going to grow right alongside with that. So I'm cheering you on, I'm encouraging you, I'm in your corner and here for you this year. I hope this was just a different perspective for you and something for you to think about as you go throughout the beginning of this year. Make sure you are subscribed to the show wherever you listen to podcasts at. We've got new shows coming out every Tuesday this year. And that way you get notified when any new episode goes live. Let's be friends on Instagram at XO Erica Shram. And I am going to leave a link in the show notes for a free content guide if you are stuck on social media looking for some different content ideas. That link will be in the show notes. You can grab some different ideas there. Hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.